Welcome to Charles Today. My name is David Linton, and today's edition for Wednesday, the 21st of September, comes to you from Zurich in Switzerland. I'm speaking at an energy conference here today on what's going to happen to energy prices. And of course, there's a lot of people who want to know that. And they've been very high for last year, much as we predicted. But what's going to happen next is the really key thing, and we'll look at that in a minute. Just looking at the general markets overall, remembering this is my weekly, my daily, and my 60-minute chart, my long-term, medium-term, and short-term view of the market with the corresponding point and figure targets. So we start by looking at the dollar index, still looking very strong indeed, bullish above the cloud on all three time frames, with upside targets pushing higher, and some of these targets are very, very big indeed. So it really has been the year of the dollar, much as we predicted at the start of the year. Euro is back below the parity level and is bearish below the cloud on all three time frames, with downside targets lower. 97 was the target that we gave way back in February, so really quite interesting that we are now there. We're at 111 at the time. The Japanese yen, we're seeing the dollar looking very strong against the yen. That's weaker yen, stronger dollar, and sterling sitting at 113 against the dollar. So again, just touch that 113 level. Levels not seen since the 1980s, so really quite a big concern there. And of course, a lot going on politically in the UK at the moment with budgets and various things. And we're waiting to hear about the energy price cap as well today, so that will be key too. Looking at and how it's funded, and of course that has an effect on the financial stability of the UK. Looking at the euro sterling rate, we're sitting at 114 here, so we're seeing there that we are just kicking up a little bit, so weaker euro than sterling today. Taking a look at Bitcoin, it's below $19,000 now. We've been saying sometime now it's game over for crypto. And looking at the S&P 500 index, we're seeing here just starting to emerge out of the cloud on the lagging line on the weekly chart and downside targets. So these targets have been baked in for some time, and there's no secret that we've been bearish equity markets. The futures are flat this morning. The VIX volatility is kicking higher into the high 20s. Remembering above 30, we would say we're fearful. And we've got upside targets to 36, 38. So it does look like we're going into the 30s. Markets just starting to become worried about interest rates. And we've got interest rate rises from the Fed and from the UK coming, so it'll be very interesting to see just how big those rate rises will be. Looking at the FTSE future this morning, we're up slightly, faring better than the German market, which is actually down 0.75%. Bearish territory here, which we've talked of for some time. Asia was down pretty much across the board. We saw Japan down 1.35%, and again, pretty well all the markets lower there. The Aussie market down 1.5%, for example. We look at the energy mix in a minute. Commodities looking strong generally. We've got sugar up, wheat up 1.82%. So really sort of in recovery mode. Found the base of that long-term trend on wheat, and we're now pushing back to higher territory. Gold has really struggled since falling below the 1700 level. So we are medium-term, short-term bearish there. Of course, I'm in the home of gold in Zurich, but it's not looking good for short-term traders in gold at the moment. And looking at silver, it's actually held up a bit better than gold. Might be finding a base there. Yields are going to be the big thing today. We see US 10-year yield waiting that interest rate decision. We will get a thrust target off this column. Interest rates are going much, much higher, and we've been saying that for some time. Looking at the energy mix now, we've got Brent crude actually surging now this morning. It was quite interesting. It was hard call this morning, and then it's just moved really quickly. So it's up quite significantly. A shortage of clear targets there, but we are back above the cloud on the short-term chart. WTI, much the same picture, not quite yet above the cloud. US nat gas looking stronger as well, up 2%. But again, the targets are a little bit less clear. We've got one here coming in at 8, and I noticed in my alerts list that I did have targets coming in for nat gas. There's 1 to 8, and I saw that, and it was activated. That came in just a few moments ago. So looking at the rest of the energy mix in Europe, we've got coal looking pretty static in the high 200s, just starting to come off a little bit off the top there. Emissions down further this morning. We were neutral pretty much across the board today. Quite a hard call. We're seeing TTF up stronger, and NBP also looking a little bit stronger as well. But we are still below the cloud. We do have quite a few upside targets there on NBP and on TTF as well. So looks like a better day ahead there. And German power sitting up as well, up 2.3%. And we're back above the 500 level, which is quite key. So this 500 level is pretty critical. That's where we're finding support at the moment. And if we look at just markets across the board, as I'm in Switzerland, Swiss power I'm looking at this morning. These are all the power markets recovering yesterday and looking a bit stronger. And if we look at the UK, interestingly here we're seeing this pattern and talking about where energy prices go. We're going to have these big ranges, and we're going to trade within these ranges, so it's going to be really quite key. That's it for today. Until tomorrow back in London, happy charting. See you then.